Hey guys, Jacob here. This is going to be my new Berserk build for Title Update 5. A lot of people want me to make a new Berserk build for this update, so I decided to try to farm and get some of the pieces I've been really trying to get for this build. This is my damage to armor variant. It's not 100% complete. There are a few things that I kind of want to change about this build, but I'll get right into it. I'm running this with the P416, which is my main primary, the Sweet Dream shotgun for the holstered talent. And I will show you guys the gear. You guys can see right here, mixing this with True Patriot, Gila, Fenris, and Murakami, and I'll tell you guys why I'm running those and what stats I have on them. First, the gun I'm using is the custom P416G3, hitting at 21.2k damage, 825 RPM, and a 50-round mag. The talents on this are Strained, 5% crit damage is gained for every 10% of your armor that is depleted, Allegro, which is 10% rate of fire, and Greased while holstered. Weapon swap speed is increased by 10%. The mods on this weapon are a rugged mini reflex sight with 5% crit chance, the laser pointer with 5% crit chance as well, and the flash hider 556 and the sturdy extended 556. So you're getting 20 extra rounds and you're losing 10% reload speed. Just remember that if you're using this mag. There's a few other attachments you can change as well. If you want to have more stability on your gun, you could change the 20% stability for negative 10% optimal range, or if you want to have a little bit more crit damage on your build, you can flip out the scope for the sight scope, or if you want more crit range, you can actually throw the 20% crit range on your gun. Now that's it for the primary weapon. For the secondary, you can use pretty much whatever you want. At the moment, I'm kind of messing around with the Sweet Dream shotgun and using the holstered talent, which is evasive while equipped. Dodging reloads 20% of your current weapon magazine. And you can also use a few other weapons if you really want, kind of like the Stoner LMG, a Mark 17 rifle, or the one I've been currently using is my normal Model 700 with First Blood on it and Jazz Hands for reload speed. So that's another weapon you guys can throw on there as well if you really want to. For the sidearm, it doesn't really matter I guess what sidearm you use. Personally, if you have one that has like overlap on it, then you could use that. But I do not have a decent sidearm. I have 4 on me right now, and the one I usually normally run is the 1911, even though the talent's locked. But it does a decent amount of damage, and you have 18 rounds in it. And this one you have 26, but it doesn't do as much damage. Now the gear, I'm running this with True Patriot, which I'll cover those pieces first. These pieces are brand new. I just got them a while ago, and so they have not been updated or rolled yet. Just remember that. The True Patriot mask is for the 10% damage to armor, and the rolls are 4% crit chance with 15,000 health. And those have not been modded yet. You can obviously get those stats up a little bit more. If you want to try making this into a PvE variant, you could just use the 40% damage to elite or 30%, whatever you have, and just use it like that, and just change your stat rolls to hard hitting. Now the backpack, which is the next piece of True Patriot, you're going to have damage to armor as well, which is the 2-piece requirement, crit chance, health, and armor. I've been looking for a backpack like this for a while. I could flip that out with weapon damage, which I do not have a backpack that has weapon damage that you can really roll in there at the moment, but I'm going to dig through my stash box and see if I can find one somewhere around there and roll weapon damage on this a little bit more to get a little bit more out of this backpack. It also has a defense particle mod, which has 5,000 health, armor on kill, and 5% skill health. Now the chest piece, which is the Fenris chest piece, you're going to have 10% assault rifle damage, 11,000 armor, 16% crit chance, and 7.5 weapon damage. Berserk, weapon damage for every 20% of your max armor is depleted. This does require 7 or more. If you guys have not played this game in a while and you still don't realize that Berserk does have a requirement. This happened a while ago, but originally Berserk did not have a requirement. You could just use an assault rifle, a shotgun, or SMG. Now you can also use LMGs as well on there. This does have vital for the 20% extra health. If you want more armor, you can obviously throw hardened. The weapon mod on this is a 1% damage to armor, 2% weapon damage, and 3% assault rifle damage mod. So if you can get these kind of mods, just like this, with a little bit more higher percent assault rifle damage, obviously, this is what you're going to want to use. Now the gloves, which is the Murakami Industries, are rolled for 10% assault rifle damage, 7,000 health. They're going to get the 8% health roll from Murakami as well, so that's one reason I'm using these, to get a little bit more health on this build. It also has 5% weapon damage, which is devastating. There are no mod attachments on this, so just remember that it's going to be just a die slot, not a mod slot. Now the holster is a Gila Guard for the 5% total armor and 20% hazard protection. It's got 3% health and 40,000 health. That's a double stat roll for health right there, so you can have 2 sets of health. If you can have one that's a little bit higher, like in the 10% range for a percentage, that's kind of what you want. You can see on here, this is a damage to armor, 2% assault rifle, and a 1% weapon damage, and also a 1% damage to armor and 2% weapon damage and 2% shotgun damage as well, since I am running a shotgun. I usually don't use it against players. It's mostly just like NPCs that are really close. I've never been a huge fan of shotguns, but if someone does rush you, you can shoot them with the shotgun and do a little bit of damage to them, but I mostly focus on the P4. Now the knee pads, 14, or this is the 19,000 health, my bad. It's been modified. I did have to roll these. I'm trying to look for a little bit higher in the 20,000 range, so I can roll these a tiny bit higher and get a little bit more health out of them. And this is have patience. When you're in cover, you gain, within 5 seconds, you repair your 5% of your armor for every 1 second. This does require 6 or more, and I do have 11, so that's it's a bit much, which you guys can actually increase this if you want to, if you don't want to run. You know, lots of blues, you can run lots of reds instead and just flip this around. You can see I do have health mods on here, which is a 10,000 in armor regeneration with armor on kill, 8,000 health with extra incoming healing, and 500 armor regeneration. That's going to be about it for the build. I'll get into the skills I'm using. The pulse, you don't really need a pulse for this build, but I was using this mostly just for some of my guys using spotter in the group, and you can run this if you really want to. But the main thing I would use is the Seeker, which is what I've been using, which is the Mender, which gives you a little bit of heals as well. So you could throw that on there and use the Seeker combined with the Chem Launcher, so you can actually have 2 heals at once, and you can actually just, you know, rotate those and go back and forth. This is the standard reinforcer. You can use that to heal yourself, since you're going to lack a decent amount of, or any skill power, so you're going to have to try to heal yourself as much as possible if you're running around trying to face tank people or use it mid-range, like I've been trying to do that, and that's pretty much how I've been running it. A few things we'll talk about. You can use the Eagle Bearer with this build, but I've been using Berserk and Strain combined together to get a little bit of crit damage and get damage in general together to make up for a little bit of weapon damage that I'm losing. You can actually get way more weapon damage than this, like I said, but you're gonna have to. I'm gonna have to roll this backpack instead of crit chance to actual damage. I will show you guys the stats. Here are the gear talents, and here are the weapon talents. You guys can see these real quick. And here are the weapon stats in general. 33.5 crit chance, 30% crit damage. You're obviously going to get more crit damage when you're using strained. Headshot damage is 55%. The range is 26, and you're getting 10% reload speed bonus, which is negative 10%. The offensive, you're getting 40% assault rifle damage bonus, and you're getting, you can see obviously all weapon damage bonus in like LMG, stuff like that, rifle and armor, you know, damage to armor, which is armor damage is 14%. I try to get just a tiny bit higher. That's what I've been trying to go for, this to make a damage to armor build. And I've had this in the works for a while, but I haven't really had the mask or the backpack to really get it. I've been trying to get ones that doesn't have, you know, the other one has damage to elites on it, which was for my PvE build, so I've been looking for a new mask to make this. Here's the armor generation, which is 10,320. Max health is 212,000. And you can see the health regeneration is 106,000. And you can see your hazard protection is 20% due to the fact that's from the Gilgars. So you will get some resistance from some of these status effects as well. These skills are obviously 0, except the Seeker Mind skill power, which has a mod on it. So I wouldn't worry about those too much. But that's going to be all, guys, for the video. One more thing I will note, if you guys do not want to use certain talents, you can flip them as well. You actually don't have to run 2 Patriot if you don't want to. With this build, you can flip those with other pieces. Like if you want more health or something, or more armor, you can obviously flip this for a backpack that has like tons of armor like this on it with hardened if you really want to, but I tried to spec into a little bit more health. Originally this build had about 260,000 health maxed into it, and 280 on some of the pieces I had, but I did flip the holster with a Gilgard holster, so I did lose a little bit of health from that because I have a better holster than this one actually. But to get the more offensive mods, I flipped it. Same goes for the chest piece. I originally had a chest piece on here which did not have crit chance. It actually had armor and way more health just with Vital and Berserk. So if you guys have better pieces than I do, you obviously can flip those, and you can use the Eagle Bear like I said, or use Precise if you want to use headshot damage instead of weapon damage, which you can do also. That's been it, guys. Thank you all for watching. We are almost at the 100K mark, so if you guys are new to the channel and you enjoy my content, please subscribe. It really helps me out a lot. And I'll be posting more Division 2 content. Also, I'll be publishing a little bit more builds due to the fact that I have been working on skill builds and a few other builds like my SMG build I've been trying to work on and using stuff like that. But as always, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you all for watching.
We had the training. We fought to protect the weak. But training doesn't prepare you to hunt someone you used to call brother. He has left us no other choice. If we don't stop him, there will be nothing left to save.